So I wrote a book called The Holiday After. It is about Santa and his family and some of the traditions that they have to celebrate the holiday. So what they do together kind of the day after Christmas, since Santa's very busy on Christmas delivering presents. This book starts with the end of "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." So, and to all a good night, and we go from there. Idea for my book honestly came from a combination of things. It was during COVID. My family is West Coast and I'm currently on the East Coast. So trying to tell my kids we're not going to be able to go visit family and see everyone, but then trying to focus on some of the memories and some of the things that we do together that maybe we'll bake cookies with my grandparents back in Seattle. When we're here, we can still bake cookies and have those memories. We can, do all these different things that still give you that sense of joy and tradition and just that Christmas spirit, no matter where you are. Characters for the book just kept coming. I almost had to pump the brakes. I was like, there's too many people here. And it just started with kind of a main boy, a young boy. And then he had an older brother. And then before I knew it, that reflected my sons. And then I didn't want to leave my daughter out. So I added a girl in the story, but then thought it would be fun if she was a twin. So then we had another person. So the characters just kind of kept growing. There is one unique character in the story, which is Santa and his brother. So if you do read the story and see that, it kind of puts another little twist on everything. My kids and I make a lot of pancakes. And in fact, if you do follow me on social media, you'll see that everyone flipped their first pancake over this last weekend. So we really get into it and we have a good time. We've even gotten to the point where we do designs. So the kids know how to create different colors and make, different shapes and things like that. So it's something that I felt like if I'm making pancakes for you on the weekend, then why don't we make it an art and have some fun with it? So it kind of just added into the book. I think now it's a requirement that I do make pancakes on the day after Christmas. So on the holiday after. I got started as an author, honestly, just by writing and going and just kind of at some point thinking, what's next? You write the story and then what? Should I just look at it? Should I just share it with my kids? And then when I wrote The Holiday After, I knew I wanted to share it with everyone. It was just a moment where I knew I wanted it to be more. I wanted other kids to read the same story and maybe even start a tradition of baking pancakes the day after Christmas. So that's really where it came from. I did study journalism, so I was writing. I've always loved writing, but I honestly don't think I took it seriously until I wrote The Holiday After. I plan on writing so many more books. I've got another book that should be done here before the end of the year, which we'll start talking about and kind of promoting early 2022. That sounds crazy to say. And then I also have a 3-part series about a girl and her doll. And then actually over this last week, I had another kind of aha moment and wrote another. So I'm just going to keep going and see what happens. So I'm having fun. Why stop? My writing process is unique. I mean, I think a lot of people's are, but for example, the story I most recently wrote, I was walking my dog at night and I was looking at the stars. My grandmother has recently passed, so I was just thinking about the stars and space, and it was dark. And I was also thinking that my son was probably in the house still not asleep. And so as a lot of kids do, kind of is a worrier. So he thinks about what's next and, well, what's happening. Well, he, and can't focus, can't let his mind rest and go to sleep because it's, well, what's out there and what's beyond. And so as I was outside walking the dog and looking at the stars, I thought it would be nice if there was a children's book that kind of addressed that in a very calm manner. So then I ran inside and tried to write it down as fast as I could remember it. So that's my writing style. Similar with The Holiday After, it was an in bed kind of a moment, thinking again how to tell the kids something, and then it just starts coming out and I write it down as fast as I can. Illustrator was the hardest part of self-publishing, but if you are willing to dig for it, you can find something amazing. And I feel like I was blessed enough to find someone amazing. Masha, who illustrated The Holiday After, has a talent. And it just was a look that I was hoping for, but I honestly didn't know if it was possible, especially with self-publishing. And when we just opened up the line of communications and we had a lot of similarities in how we saw the book going, I knew it was a great fit. So her technique, it's a little 3D, a little cartoon, but still fairly realistic. And she even took some pictures of my kids to kind of make them look like the characters in the book. So her talent is just incredible. It's a must for my family that we all get together and decorate the Christmas tree. So even if the kids are fighting, we're doing this and we're doing this together tonight. So put on some Christmas tunes and let's get to decorating. So that's a big one. We often do bake cookies and decorate cookies. And I think that becomes more of the, licking the frosting and eating the sprinkles than actually cookies. We never have any afterwards. Like, we spend all day cooking and there's 3 cookies left. But we do love doing that. I love wrapping presents and watching holiday movies. So the kids, the older they get, the more they'll sit with me and enjoy those moments too. And, use their finger to help while I'm doing the ribbon and the cutting and things like that. So I love all of Christmas. One of my favorite Christmas movies, oh my goodness, I have so many. Family-ish Christmas movies. The boys, my oldest, are starting to get into Home Alone, the original. So now that they can watch that one, that's a lot of fun. My husband and I really liked the Reese Witherspoon and Vince Vaughn movie, Four Christmases. So for us, both being from, my parents were separated, his family was separated. There's always so many houses to go to on Christmas. So that one is, that's a funny, good one. We like that a lot. Jingle Jangle was a new Christmas movie that came out that was pretty cute. And The Christmas Chronicles, how could I forget? Words to describe Danielle would have to be dedicated, driven, and goofy. My favorite children's book when I was young was probably The Giving Tree. I love that story. It's sad, it's beautiful. I think it's a beautifully touching story. When I'm not writing, I'm reading. I do a lot of reading. I play a lot of games with my kids. We are hooked on Monopoly right now, and I am already over it, but it seems to be the never-ending game, and they enjoy it. So it's good. I'm playing games with my kids, and I'm reading. I grew up, I wanted to be a movie star. I was a bit dramatic. I also studied theater. So actually, I ended up majoring in broadcast journalism, minoring in theater. So acting and writing have always been my passion. I actually like reading thrillers, suspense books. They keep me on my toes. I often thought I liked romance books, but they start to sound the same to me. And I think that's what I like about thrillers is that you don't really know what's coming next. I need a twist. I hope that people that read my book get a sense of comfort and tradition. So even if that's reading the book and taking that moment to read it with your child or your grandchild or your niece or nephew, whether it's close or far apart, it still gives that same energy and that same emotion. And that's what's really important. So as long as it's something that they can take beyond just the book, I think that's what's important. You can find me on social media at Danielle Marietta Books. I am also on Facebook, Danielle Marietta, and my website, daniellemariettabooks.com.